so that we have a chance to watch this back or share the replay with anybody who may want to see that after the fact. So we are excited to be here. So welcome, welcome. If you are just popping on, I see some people actually jumping on the live right now. So Joanna and I are very excited to be here in the Matchbook Pictures Facebook group. So thanks for your patience, folks, as we get some things set up. So amazing. So tonight we are really excited. We are going to be here with you talking all about some exciting things that are to come, our feature film. And I have the opportunity to be here tonight to talk to the lovely Joanna Saul all about Open Your Eyes, which is coming out on video on demand, DVD, Blu-ray, you name it, folks, on June the 1st. I'm like, my goodness, that is only a few weeks away. I'm so excited to see this film. So before we dive in, I'm just going to take a moment here to introduce myself and Joanna, who's joining us here tonight on the live so that you guys can get started. So welcome. If you're just tuning in, I see more people are jumping on the live here. I'm Sarah Jansel, and I will be your host this evening on behalf of Matchbox Pictures. And joining me here, you can see on the live, is the lovely Joanna Saul. So for those of you that don't know Joanna, I am going to read a little bio on her. Sorry, Joanna, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I thought
go for it.
Amazing things about you that the audience might want to know if they don't know already. So Joanna is a Toronto-based actor. Here to the Canadians on the line. Blending her academic education of a BA in psychology at McGill with her acting experience and her training. Some of her training includes being the recipient of the Rooney Actors Workshop Scholarship. Pretty amazing, working with Bad Dog Theatre and so much more. So Joanna's boundless curiosity and ambition are fueling her flourishing career as an actor and producer. So you guys are catching her here live tonight. And she's also a founding member of Counterbalance Collective, which is a volunteer women-led nonprofit development and production organization, which is also based in Toronto. So pretty amazing. Welcome, Joanna.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm excited to talk about Open Your Eyes. It's gonna be fun.
Awesome. All right. So everyone on the line here, I did mention that we are going live here in the Matchbox Pictures Facebook page. And so we were going to have a simulcast going on Instagram tonight. We were just going live, and you are in luck because here in the group, we have some amazing things that we are going to be sharing with you tonight. So not only do Joanna and I have a chance to go live for a great question and answer period, but a couple of other things. So first and foremost, because we are in Facebook right now and we are live, I want the folks that are on the line right now to make best use of that chat function. So you are here live. This is a Q&A. You have an opportunity to ask your questions and get your questions answered here tonight. So as I'm talking to Joanna and going through some of the questions that I have for her, I will be monitoring that chat and taking a look at some of the questions that are coming in. So we will make sure to get your questions answered. So all you have to do is pop your questions in the chat. Like the video for us to let us know that you're loving what's going on tonight, and I will make sure to relay those as part of the ongoing chat this evening. As well, we have a couple of exclusive things. So we have a trailer for Open Your Eyes that we are going to be showing in a little bit, and an exclusive clip that Joanna has been willing to share with the group here tonight. So you've seen it here first, which is really exciting. So stay tuned for that. You don't want to leave just yet because we do have some awesome stuff in store. All right. Plus, folks, another little tidbit here. There is some more amazing news, if you can believe it or not. If you are somebody that's willing to jump into the action here with this new film coming out and want to be first to get your pre-order for this, yes, there will be pre-orders that will be coming out. The video will be available for pre-order on iTunes, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. So once you order that, there is a little freebie, a little extra that you are going to get with that pre-order. So you will get some director commentary and a Ryan Barrett gag reel sent to you as well. So more information on that will be coming in the next couple of days, but I just wanted to make sure you guys know that there was that option to do the pre-order. All right, that was a mouthful. So who's excited on the live? Let me know in the chats how you guys are feeling tonight, if you guys are ready, if you got your questions ready, and we are going to jump right into some things here and get some questions answered. So Joanna, are you ready?
Ready.
Awesome. All right. So couple little background for folks here. So this film was written, directed, produced, edited by the lovely Gregory A. Sager, who is a friend of mine, an incredibly talented individual, joined by Gary Elmer, who is also a producer and a director of photography. So between the two of them and the rest of the crew, there's so many amazing years of experience that there has been with this. So having seen Devil Seed, Kingdom Come, and a few other Matchbox movies come out, I was really excited to see this new feature film popping out in the midst of 2021. So joined by them, of course, is the amazing crew, including yourself, Ryan Barrett, and a few others, just to name a few. So I thought what we do here is maybe kick some things off with the audience and tell them maybe what they can expect with Open Their Eyes coming out on June 1st. So maybe we could introduce a little bit about the film, or maybe some context that we can share. And then I mentioned a little bit later, we're going to play a trailer and an exclusive clip. So first question coming at you, Joanna. So from your perspective, can you share what we can expect from Open Your Eyes? And maybe give us a little detail of what you can about what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Open Your Eyes is a thriller. I wouldn't really call it a horror personally. It's more of a thriller, and it's about a character named Jason, who's played by Rye, obviously. And he's a screenwriter, and he's trying to finish his screenplay, and he's working really hard on it. And all these like weird things kind of start happening around him. While all this is happening, he meets Lisa, who lives down the hall, and that's me. And him and Lisa kind of start to form a connection, and they start to hang out a bit more, but all these weird things keep happening, and you're kind of not sure what's actually happening. And it is very hard to describe because there are so many amazing twists and turns, and that's really what is so fun about this film. So that's kind of all I can say in terms of the plot. As for Lisa, she is kind of his curious neighbor who wants to get to know him and learn more about him. And yeah, she kind of goes along with him as these things start happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll say about the plot.
Okay, very mysterious for those folks joining us on the line here. I see we've had a few more pop on. So very exciting. So little bits and pieces that we're gathering there, some weird things that are going to be happening. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about that. And for those of you that are tuning in right now, make sure you're hanging around with us for a little bit, because we're going to play some exclusive clips. I see we have some folks that are newly joining us here. And don't forget that you will be able to pre-order this video as well. So on iTunes, and we'll share some information with you about that in the next couple of days. So Joanna, I am curious, this was a pretty cool project from the sounds of it. But from your perspective, I'm wondering, kind of get a script and maybe hear a little bit about what's going on and things like that. Was there anything in particular for you that really drew you to this film, or just really piqued your interest when you read it for the first time?
Yeah, I'll talk about also like how it even came to me. So I had auditioned for Greg and Gary. They were producing a different film way back in March 2019. And I did the audition. I thought it went pretty well, and then I didn't hear anything, which is a very common sequence of events for actors. And of course, then you kind of think you're like, oh, I guess the audition didn't go that well, whatever. Fast forward to May 2020, I get a message from Greg being like, hello, you auditioned for me last year. I wrote the script. I was kind of thinking about you for it. Can we have a call and I'll tell you about it and you can send in a self-tape? And I was like, wait, what? Like, who is this person? He liked my audition. Why didn't he cast me then? But it turns out that film just like it fell through. They didn't end up making it. But any actors watching, you never know what they thought of you. So don't always think it's bad because it
Mhm.
might have been a good thing.
Yeah.
So then Greg and I got on a phone call and he explained the character to me and the script, and it sounded really interesting. This was also like peak pandemic. It was May 2020,
Mm.
and he was like, "Do you want to come to London and shoot this film for like about 2 weeks?" And I was like, "Yeah, but is it going to be COVID safe? Am I going to get COVID?" And he explained that everything was going to be really safe. Everyone was going to isolate for 2 weeks before, and you know, yada yada yada, very safe. So yeah, and then I was really drawn to the script because it kind of explores the theme of like loneliness, which I think is something obviously we've all experienced a lot of this past year. And I think it's something people experience regardless of if it's real or not. Like it can be just perceived, like you can be surrounded by people and still feel that. So I'm always interested in stories that explore that and what loneliness can take you to do and say when that's not part of your core self. So yeah, that's kind of what drew me to it. And it just seemed like a really unique experience. I was like, there's going to be how many crew members? 5? Wow. I'm in. So yeah.
Amazing. Wow. So I definitely want to dive into some of that because
Yeah.
that's super cool. But such a good message, though. A couple of messages we kind of picked up there for sure. I mean, it's been such an interesting year to say the least. I'm sure all the folks that are joining us live right now can, feel that. So that's amazing. And I love that. I mean, it's true. You never know how you leave things, right? And there's always, one door shuts and another window opens, right?
Mhm.
So I really love that. So let's talk a little bit about Lisa, your character. I am
Yeah.
curious how you would describe her.
I would describe Lisa as she's very determined but patient. Um, and it's not clear to the audience, what she really wants and what her goals are, but she has her eyes really set on them. And I think she's really sweet and caring, and she ends up really caring a lot about Jason,
Mm.
but she's still kind of cheeky and she's unafraid to ask questions and kind of be bold like that. So yeah, that's how I describe her. She was a really fun character to play. Um, she's meeting Jason and she's trying to kind of get a read on him, and all these things keep happening. He's kind of acting weird, so she's just kind of trying to suss out the situation, and yeah, she's intrigued by him though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so was there anything in particular for you that you felt you brought to the character? Anything that kind of like nuanced with that?
Yeah, I was, the I study with a acting coach named Sophie Ann Rooney, who's amazing, and she always encourages her actors to really dive deep into the character and
Mm.
like what work can you do that's not written on the script. So I did a lot of I like to like journal as my characters, and kind of like anything I see in the script, I'll go off and just kind of write a stream of consciousness about it and kind of create the character off of the script. Um, I always make like a Spotify playlist for my characters. So
Oh,
I
fun.
just have all these little playlists that just say like Lisa, Alice, which probably looks weird if people don't know what they're for. So yeah, I listen to a lot of music, any music that kind of puts me in that character's essence or reflects the emotional state that the character's going through. So I like to do that kind of stuff. And Greg is our director, and his vision for this was really to kind of let the dialogue sit and breathe and kind of you know the whole thing is not a slow burn, but there are some parts that are a little bit more slow. And, as an actor, sometimes it's hard to have that slow scene. So I think doing all that prep work helps me be motivated in those kind of
Mm-hmm.
moments of quiet and moments of stillness,
Yeah.
because then I can think back to the journal entry I wrote about what's happening. And so yeah, that's kind of that was the prep I did. We didn't really have that much time to prep. It was kind of like, do you want to do this movie? Yeah. And like a week later, it was like, come on. I was like, oh God. So, what with the time I had, that was kind of the stuff I did. And it was fun to kind of dig deep into Lisa and what
Mhm.
her backstory is, because you don't really know. So it's fun to make that kind of stuff up.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea about the playlist. Are you
It's
able to
good. It's
share
fun.
maybe like one Lisa song with us?
Um, I found this band called Oh Wonder. I had never heard of them, but they're kind of like an alt rock band, I guess. So I listened to a few songs by them. There were some that were like very kind of spot on lyrically to what I needed to get into. So
Yes.
yeah,
Amazing. Amazing. So cool. And I love what you're saying as well about just that like being able to get into that mentality. And, a lot of the folks I work with, there's this kind of, slogan that goes around like power in the pause, right? So if you could really
Mhm.
get into that, there's kind of that power of like being in that character and how you
Yeah,
can bring that pause, but still make it intentional, right?
totally.
So
Yeah, and I think also there's a lot happening in this film and there are a lot of turns, and so I think those pauses are kind of can act as a moment for the audience too, to be like, what the hell is happening? And like to try to figure it out and catch up. So yeah.
yeah. Amazing. So then you've got your prep, which sounds like this is kind of like a routine that you deploy and things like that. So is there anything maybe aside from like short notice and things like that that was different about Lisa than, other characters that you may play?
Yeah, it's so hard to say some of this without ruining
Yeah.
things, so I will tread very lightly. Um, yeah, I mean, again, it kind of the slowness of some of the scenes I did find a bit challenging. Um, I'm in my life, I'm a pretty like fast-paced person. I'm kind of go go go. So, just making sure that I was like that those moments in between were motivated. That was really important. Uh and yeah, I think I don't think I've played kind of like literally girl next door. I like live down the hall. So it was fun to play that character and give that character more depth too, and have it be more than just like the love interest, and kind of go deeper into it and really see like, okay, what's my objective? How can I make that clear without giving things away early on in the film?
Hmm. Yeah, very cool. All right. So for those of you that are on the live or just joining us live here, I see we've got some more folks on there. So there's been some interesting questions here about character. So we're trying to cover those off. Know that there is some mysteriousness around the Open Your Eyes feature film that is coming out, but great news because we have a couple of exclusive clips, the trailer and a behind the scenes that we are going to share. So hang on tight because we are going to get there. And I'm really excited to watch these myself and sort of see Lisa come to life and all of this. So that's amazing. All right, so let's dig into your co-star because you've talked about Ryan a couple of times and sort of touched on him and his character and the crew, the fact that you had such a small crew. So, given that there was such a small crew for this film, and you two are really kind of in this together as in terms of main characters for the film, what was your experience like working, with him in those conditions?
It was really interesting because so we only had a crew. We shot this in early June of 2020, and at that time the restrictions were 5 people indoors.
Mm,
um, that actually got lifted while we were shooting, but we just still kept it to be extra safe. So, for anyone who's ever been in a film, you will know, especially a feature, to do that with just 5 people is insane.
incredible.
Um, our sound person, Steve Scott, who was incredible, he literally was like in his van in the parking lot the entire time. And would maybe come in if someone would go out and, change the boom poles or something. Everyone was masked up, of course. Um, so that was really interesting. But that small crew, it was cool because we really like bonded, you know, there was no anonymity, you know, you couldn't like go off and be alone while you ate. There was only one place to eat, it was outside. So it just really led to a great camaraderie between all of us, and we just had a lot of fun getting to know each other. Rye and I became like our an actual bubble within our 5, 6 person bubble. And it was kind of funny. There was this little bench outside of, we shot in Greg's apartment building and his apartment, and out
Mhm.
on the parking lot, there was this little bench that could only seat 2 people. So Ryan and I at lunch, like every day, would just sit next to each other, and like the rest of them would be spread out. So, I mean, it was good, like, especially since our characters are supposed to kind of develop a relationship. Um, it was it was good. We really bonded. Rye is incredible. They were all so nice to work with, and they all had actually worked together previously on a couple other films. So when I showed up, I was like, you know, the absolute stranger, and they were really welcoming and, you know, made me feel really comfortable. But yeah, it was funny. I arrived on like a Friday night, and Saturday morning we just like started shooting immediately.
Yeah.
But they did really make me feel comfortable, and yeah, it was an interesting experience. I don't think I'll ever be on a feature again with that small of a crew. But yeah, we really all bonded and ended up having a lot of fun.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So in the face of everything that's going on and, everything that you guys are, working within and being so creative, I love that. Like sound guy in his car, my goodness.
I
We
know.
appreciate you.
I know, and, like, he could hear us, but we couldn't hear him, you know? So we'd be, like, having all this fun inside, and we would
Yeah.
just be like, "Oh, Steve, we miss you. We're still thinking about you."
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, great opportunity, like you say. Like, I can only imagine how many people are generally on a set and all of the manpower, woman power that it
Yeah.
takes to put these things together. And then to have five. But as you've highlighted, like really great opportunity to be able to be more bonded, and get closer to that character and build those relationships, especially if it's, being done so quickly. So
Mhm.
yeah, amazing. Awesome. So Greg's apartment. Anything you
Yeah.
can tell us about this location that we should
Yeah.
know?
It was, he has a really great place, and it was really spacious, so it was good for, you know, honestly, the true stars of this film are like Greg, Gary, and Michael Down, who was our first AC, first AD, every other position on a film, because they had to wear their masks inside for
Mm,
the entire day, every single day for like 2 weeks straight. And, you know, Ryan and I would put ours on when we could, but we were on camera. You can't
yeah.
have a mask on camera. So, but yeah, so Greg's place was good because it was pretty spacious. So the three of them could spread out decently. And then he had this parking lot, which was like our true home was the parking lot. We ate outside, we talked outside, we did everything outside. Luckily, the weather was really nice, so that was good. And then yeah, there's some other areas of his apartment building that we used, and a lot of spots that really worked well for this genre too.
Mhm,
Kind of some, you know, creepy little nooks and stuff. So
mhm.
it was a cool place to shoot. And we were in London, Ontario, which I had only been to once before, and it was when I was in university for like, you know, homecoming. So I, you know, I didn't necessarily remember London that well.
Yeah.
But it was cool to go back there, and I got to kind of drive around when we went for a distanced wrap party. And yeah, I explored London a bit, and it's a really nice place. I had never really seen it. Thames River, I loved that. Really pretty.
Yes, that's amazing. Yes. And so that would have been more of a downtown urban setting you were doing. And my goodness, probably around the June timeframe. Like I know it was so quiet. So not only would you have had that together, but you would have been able to see anything you wanted with
Yes, that's true.
very little hassle. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to do, unfortunately. We couldn't go sit at a restaurant and eat or anything like that, which is a shame, but I'll come back after the pandemic and
Yeah.
truly experience London, Ontario, and it'll be great.
The wrap party.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we still have some folks on here, and I'm sure that they are getting a little bit eager, and we have not shown any clips just yet. So I am thinking it might be a really great time for us to showcase the movie trailer that is coming up, just so that folks can get a feel for that, and then we can jump into a couple more questions. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to get my video queued up here, folks. I am so excited to see this. And I am going to share my screen here so you can all see what I am seeing. Okay, here we go.
What do you do?
I'm a writer, screenwriter, actually.
Ah, like movies.
Yeah, like movies. Weird we haven't run into each other yet.
Yeah, I've seen you around.
Really?
Yeah, but in your defense, you sort of seem to be in your own world sometimes.
Hey there, little guy. Tell me something about yourself.
I think you probably know more than you think.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why am I here, Jason? I think we need to talk about this.
Talk about what?
The truth.
I'm sorry. I'm not some crazy nutcase, okay?
This isn't what you think it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess you're not ready for this. There you go. You're starting to see it.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, so spooky.
Love it. Oh my goodness. So many things. Great. So we are really starting to get a flavor for some of the things that you're describing, some of the weirdness that is happening.
Weirdness.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Oh my goodness. This is awesome. This is awesome. Okay. So with all of that in mind, my mind is full right now. Different things that we can dive into. But I am wondering, because that looked very cool, the way they were stepping back and forth, if there is a particular scene, without giving anything away, because we've just seen some clips, but if there is a particular scene without any spoilers that might be something that was your favorite, maybe because it was, dramatic or weird or whatever.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, you froze for a second. Yeah. So favorite scene.
Yeah.
There's a lot, but one of my favorite ones is when Jason and Lisa first meet. It's just really funny because Jason is not the most smooth upon first meeting Lisa. And it's just really entertaining to watch Jason try to talk to Lisa. He's been writing his script, he's really been in his own world. So I think seeing his neighbor and trying to talk to her, it proves to be difficult for him. So it's just kind of funny. That's like a really fun scene to watch play out, and a couple of their other ones too. And then, yeah, there are some scenes further in the movie that I cannot say what they are, but there's some really moving moments. And yeah, I'm sorry. You got to watch it. There's so many fun twists and I have to be very careful.
Yes, yes, totally understand. So much mysteriousness, but folks, if you are on here with the live with us now, I see we've had some more people jump on as well. You are not going to have to wait long. It is May 11th today. This movie is coming out for June the 1st, so we are only a few shy weeks away. So that is very exciting, but I love this. It's full of suspense. So many things that I am wondering about having watched that trailer. If that's not getting you pumped, then I don't know what will. So it is going to be amazing. All right. So looking back on the film and how everything unfolded, my goodness, like, you know, middle of the pandemic, right? Last year, like all kinds of things going on. You've got a smaller crew, you know, all these opportunities are such amazing ways to turn this film into something really unique. But looking back on that experience, because I'm sure it was very different than ones that you've had before, you know, questions on people's minds might be, would you do it again?
I would. I mean, I wish there wasn't a pandemic, you know, because as much as we did bond, there was still this hesitation a bit, you know, like that was also in May, June-ish. So, you know, there's still a lot unknown about this virus, but then there was even more unknown. So there was still a hesitation, and, you know, we couldn't all like hug freely and talk indoors. So that obviously was a bit of a shame. But yeah, I mean, I would do it again for sure. It was really fun. I also learned a lot because, you know, with such a small crew, I could talk to Gary, our DOP, and, you know, I'm also into filmmaking and producing. So I was asking him, like, what are the best lights to rent? And, you know, I was getting some insider tech information too, and equipment information. And they let me use the rack focus. It's something that cameras use to like switch focus between people. So I got to kind of try out a lot of the equipment and play around with it safely. So that was really cool too. Yeah, I would totally do it again. And I think there's a certain passion that comes with a small crew, and we definitely had it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you would change about the experience?
Oh, I would add a makeup and hair person if I could. It was funny because, you know, I was coming from quarantine, lockdown. So no makeup, hair in a bun every day, sweatpants, you know, not necessarily washing my hair every night or anything. And then, you know, just like a complete 180 to waking up super early, putting on a full face of makeup, like full glam, curling my hair every day, showering, washing my hair every night. So it was just like, you know, that was a bit challenging. But there's more challenging things in the world to deal with. But yeah, if we could, I would add a makeup and hair person.
Yeah.
Bless their souls. Give the brush to them. I don't want it.
And what a switch that would be, right? Like even tonight getting ready. It's not like
Right.
we're too many places these days, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, you did an amazing job because you looked very
Thank
professional.
you. Thank you so much.
Thinking
I'm
about
trained now.
right? With the masks and like the reapplication and all that stuff. So
Yeah, and the mask, oh my God, it kept, yeah.
yeah, I'm sure. Amazing. All right, so we have been holding on to another exclusive clip, and I know that we are running this until 8 o'clock, so I want to make sure that we can sneak that in. I've got a couple other questions that I just want to run through with the group. So what do you think if we show another clip?
Let's do it. Let's show the clip.
All right, let's do it. Okay, just gonna pull this up. I'm very excited based on what we just saw. All right, so here we go.
Open Your Eyes is like a thriller mystery. It's about a screenwriter who's having some weird things happen to him. He meets Lisa, his neighbor down the hall, and they kind of start to show interest in each other. And then as the film goes on, you find out why weird things are happening to him.
Audiences will be able to connect with this story, I think, on another level, because it's gonna be so relatable. And in reading the script, it was the same way. You're sort of going down the line of, oh, I've seen films sort of this way. Like it's in line with The Shining, The Machinist. Like it's a psychological thriller where we don't know if our lead character, if his narrative is trustworthy because of how it starts out.
You know, a big theme in this story is hope, and I think that's something we all need right now for sure. And just be resilient and keep going. And I think that's like a message that is like, you know, old as time for a reason.
Is everything okay?
I'm really excited about this movie because it's a really engaging story. And there's just more questions when you watch it. There's just questions and questions. Well, why is he doing that now? And that great kind of engagement that you get when you watch it is just thrilling.
This film deserves a second viewing because what you might not have gotten or what might have frustrated you in the first viewing that hopefully all made sense to you when we got to the end, if you watch it a second time, you're going to see all the meaning behind all of that. It just adds another level to everything you watch.
Oh my goodness.
Fun.
So fun, so intense.
Yeah.
Yes, amazing.
And we saw our other castmate, Boosh, the cat.
Yes, Boosh. And Boosh has
I
her
love.
own like Instagram page now.
Boosh has an Instagram.
Boosh the cat. Everyone check it out. So famous and yet so mysterious. I would say in that
Something about that cat.
I think Gary hit the nail on the head there where, you know, you were seeing things happen and it's like just questions upon questions.
Yeah.
That are taking place. So amazing. So while we have you here, I know we've covered a lot of ground. For folks who are just tuning in, you saw that on the clip, you saw that live here first, but this feature film is coming out June 1st, so you won't have to wait too long to get your hands on this. And for those that didn't hear this earlier, there is a pre-order that you can do that will be coming out, so we'll be sharing some information about that in the coming days. But Joanna, from your perspective, I mean, I know we've covered a lot of things about the film. Is there anything else that you would want to share with our audience? Anything that might prepare them or just anything else on your mind about the film?
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage people to watch it and, you know, try to think of all the different paths it might go down. I know, like, I knew the story before I read the script. So, because Greg kind of talked to me about it and then I read it. But I know for Rye, he got to read the script just like not knowing anything. And he said it was a really cool experience because he thought, like, he was like, oh, okay, I know what's happening. You know, he's this person and blah, 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 blah. But he said like every single thing he thought was wrong. And then when he got to the reveal, he was like really mind blown. So yeah, I think just like enjoy guessing what's happening. As Rye said in that clip, I know like even getting people to watch like a 2-minute TikTok is difficult these days, but if you have it in you to watch the film once, thank you. And if you have it in you to watch it again, I think it'd be a really cool thing to see because you'll know the major twist and you'll be able to be like, oh, and you know, it'll be a cool experience. So that's what I would say. And yeah, the pre-order is going to be in like the next few days. It'll be on iTunes. You know, we're a kind of indie production, so the support in the pre-order is really important, and we would really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Awesome. I feel like it's been a year of like supporting small. And so we've got a small crew and we have an amazing feature film here. So definitely support them on the pre-order. I know I'll be getting mine.
Yeah, small to
Right?
the most small you can
Yeah.
get.
It's amazing. That's amazing. So if people want to follow along with you, Joanna, and, you know, check out what you're up to and maybe catch some more highlights as things get a little bit closer to June or even after June as things start to pop out. And, you know, you've mentioned producing, like, sounds like you've got a lot of things ahead of you. So if people want to follow along with you, where can people find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram, that's probably my most active social media place. So it's just at Joanna Saul. And it's spelled JoAnnaSaul. There's no H, there's no E, it's just Joanna. And then, yeah, I'm a member of Counterbalance Collective, which is just at Counterbalance Collective on Instagram. And yeah, we have 9 short films out. We did an anthology of short films. So those are all on YouTube. You can watch those. And we're in development right now to make like a second season of short films. So yeah, I'll post that on my account too. So if you follow me, you'll hear it all.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And if you had to take away one of your favorite producing tips going into your career as a producer in the future,
Oh,
that'd be.
Okay. I would say give yourself like more pre-production time than you think you need. Like whatever it is, add at least 2 weeks, because I think once things start ramping up and you go to shoot, things are going to get left behind. And the more time you have in advance to really just like be grounded and prepare, the more you will thank yourself, the more flags you'll notice and work on and fix and put out fires and all that. So pre-production is very important.
Very important.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Amazing. We may have some aspiring producers out here, so that will be helpful. Planning is everything.
It really is. And I know it's annoying to hear that. You just want some like easy tip, but really just give yourself tons of time to plan, and the production you will be so thankful for the previous you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially on a small cast where there are a lot of views, I am guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And do a bunch of short films and learn. And hopefully you get people like Gary and Greg who are so generous with their knowledge and advice, and you can ask them for tips. And yeah. Oh, one thing I do want to say about Greg. People need to understand that he was not only the director, but we would be like in the middle of shooting a scene, and in between takes, he'd be like, "Oh, 1 second, guys, I gotta go like marinate the chicken and preheat the oven." Like he did everything on this set, and it was just so impressive. Like the fact that he was able to direct and then like be thinking about our food and also separating our food, so it was all very COVID safe. And so he's an absolute superhero, and he's the star.
That's amazing. I can attest to that as well, having worked with Greg for my own business, and just his wealth of experience, and Gary as well. Just like, it's like those guys never, ever miss a beat, and they make it look so seamless. It's like forever inspired.
And same with Michael Down too. Like he played every single role on the film. Like so did Gary and Greg, but Michael was like everywhere.
Yeah.
I swear he has like 9 arms. I don't understand how he did it. But yeah, they were all great.
That's amazing. Awesome. So before we close things off, is there anything else you'd like to leave with the audience today before we kind of close things out? And I just want to remind them about a couple things as well.
No, I mean, I'm really excited about this film. It's my first like lead in a feature, which is really exciting. So I appreciate anyone watching right now and your support with the film, and it means the world to me. And yeah, our little crew and cast was able to make something that looks pretty good. So come check it out.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Well, congratulations, Joanna, on your first feature. It looks amazing. I can't wait to see more. So I will definitely be in on that. And I really appreciate all your candor and just like sharing your experiences and where people can find you. So you guys heard that. She's at Joanna Saul if you want to follow her on Instagram. So make sure that you check her out and follow her story. She's got big things coming. I can feel it here. And make sure you also keep your eyes open for Open Your Eyes, which is coming out again. So video on demand, DVD, Blu-ray, June the 1st. However, in the next couple of days, like we've been saying, you can get your pre-orders in. Very, very important if you want to snag that early in the next couple of days. So don't forget.
Yeah. And thank you, Sarah, so much. This has been really nice talking to you. And yeah, appreciate the time.
Likewise, it is such a pleasure for me to be able to spend some time here with you guys and supporting this film and Matchbox Pictures. This audience has been awesome. You've been awesome, Joanna. So thanks, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this and these amazing clips, and stay tuned for more information coming your way shortly. All right. With that, have a great night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.